I'm Dylan Judson and my co-anchor Ariana. Today's newscast will include the most controversial social, political, and economic events of the Roaring Twenties, such as the Scopes monkey
where
trial.
a biology teacher, John Thomas Scopes, in Dayton, Tennessee, conspired to disobey the state law by teaching evolution instead of creation. Clarence Darrow defended Scopes, while William Jennings Bryan
was called in as a lawyer to argue against Scopes. Judge Rolston declared Scopes guilty and charged him a $100 fine. Bryan won the case, but died just 5 days later.
Well, that's unfortunate. Anyways, Lacey Dudley will now report to you live from the 1923 World Series.
Hi, I'm Lacey Dudley out here at the Yankee Stadium for the 1923 World Series. Behind me right now is Babe Ruth hitting some dingers. I'm out here with Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, how does it feel to come this far and now be at the 1923 World Series?
You know, I expected to get this far, actually, especially me being on the team, one of the most iconic baseball players of all time.
How does it feel when you're up at the bat? Bat to bat, you know? Bat in hand.
I mean, normally when I'm up to bat, I'm just kind of thinking about how I'm going to run around the bases after I hit a home run.
Is it true that if you weren't such a huge hitter always hitting a home run, that you would even get on first in the first place without getting out?
If statements could go on forever, really, but all that matters is that I hit and score on and off the field.
There you have it, Babe Ruth.
There you have it. The Yankees winning the 1923 World Series, beating the New York Giants 6-4 in Game 6 to cap the series off 4-2.
All right, Dylan, we'll give it back to Lacey now.
Now that you have just won the 1923 World Series, what are you going to go do?
Yeah, it's cool and all. We won. I'm kind of tired. I'm probably just going to go home, get some rest.
There you have it, a true American athlete.
Thanks to Henry Ford and his Model T, even the average families are now enjoying new entertainment and traveling. Movie theaters reached a peak of 60 million in attendance just in this last week. Actresses and actors such as the marvelous Gloria Swanson and the hilarious Charlie Chaplin can now be seen in silent film. Not to mention, over 600,000 American homes now have radios to listen to the national news and local events. Every weekend you can expect a grand party to be held with entertainment from flappers and singers just like Louis Armstrong and Bessie Smith.
Prohibition seems to be a rising conflict throughout America. The temperance movement wants to create a dry society. However, this is causing an increase of crime rates and mobs. After alcohol was abolished by the passing of the 18th Amendment in 1920, the American population began to become and continues to be very wild. With the whisper of a secret password, anyone can walk into the wondrous speakeasies. They have become a new popular hideout for people to come drink, party, and watch flapper dancers shimmy and shake.
To encourage prohibition, people like Carrie Nation are wandering the cities, taking matters into their own hands, but in her case, with violence. She is most popular for walking around into bars and swinging her hatchet into alcohol barrels, pouring out gallons of whiskey and moonshine. To make it clear, she believes in the prohibition movement. Carrie Nation and continues to risk her life and social reputation as she wreaks havoc amongst America's saloons and cocktail lounges.
Gang violence is also increasing as leaders like Al Capone and George Buds Moran compete to gain control over the liquor profits with their gang violence. Al Capone so far has made $60 million as a bootlegger. Just yesterday, the St. Valentine's Day massacre occurred between these two rivals. 7 of Moran's gangsters were shot to death by men who were dressed as policemen. Although it is not clear yet who these men were, they are assumed to be associated with Al Capone.
My nerve!
What happened?
They just punched me in the face. I can't go to this dance like this.
Honey, I'm sure it was just an
No, an eye for an eye. That's what Dad always says.
I never said that.
Shut up, okay? We're going to teach Steven a lesson.
You know what? Here, have some Cracker Jacks, honey.
Why?
Because you're hostile when you're hungry.
Better.
Lacey, Lacey, Lacey.
Natalie, this isn't about you.
It never is!
Cracker Jacks. You aren't you when you're hungry. Cracker Jacks satisfy.
On the stock market crash. Last Tuesday, October 29th, investors traded some 16 million shares on the New York Stock Exchange. In a single day, billions of dollars were lost, wiping out thousands of investors.
Recent update: after Black Tuesday, America and the rest of the industrialized world kept spiraling downward, deeper into what they are now calling the Great Depression. So far, this has been the lowest economic downturn in the history of the Western industrialized world.
Leading up to the Wall Street crash, the U.S. stock market underwent rapid expansion, reaching its peak in August. Already before the stock market crash, production had declined and unemployment had risen. Stocks and prices were inflated, and they were not worth their real value.
Among the other causes of the eventual market collapse were low wages, the proliferation of debt, and a struggling agricultural sector, and an excess of large bank loans that could not be liquidated.
In September, stock prices began to decline, and on October 18th, the drop began. A widespread of panic was felt, and on October 24th, a record of 12,894,650 shares were traded.
Investment companies and leading bankers attempted to stabilize the market by buying up great blocks of stock. However, it did not help, for the following Black Monday was Black Tuesday, the complete collapsing of the stocks.
Currently, the stock prices are rising, for they could not go any lower. As of now, many buyers and companies are starting to recover. Oh my gosh! Good morning, America! Women were just granted their suffrage by President Wilson. Go out and register, ladies! Oh! Now on to Ariana Georgia to elaborate on women's suffrage. Wow!
What a time to be alive. After a century of struggle within the women's rights movement, we are finally equal to our counterparts. Although President Woodrow Wilson passed the 19th Amendment today, we owe our thanks to strong women's rights advocates like Susan B. Anthony, Lucretia Mott, and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. These women will always be remembered as American figures and fighters that allowed their dignity and honor to push themselves towards a goal that we never thought we could reach. Through protest and petition, these women were consistently rejected, yet they never accepted failure, for they had a desire to turn American society around for the better.
What a beautiful getaway after women have just been granted their suffrage. Paris. Here resides F. Scott Fitzgerald with his amazing novel that captures the roaring 20s, making America want to live in this era forever.
So, Fitzgerald, why did Daisy ever leave Jay Gatsby anyway?
Come meet and greet and have a delicious croissant with F. Scott Fitzgerald.
After the Great War, Woodrow Wilson conducted his 14 points as an attempt to bring peace not only to America, but to its foreign allies as well. His first 5 points of his proposal were to spread peace internationally. For example, he mentioned open diplomacy. The remaining 8 were all directed towards specific territorial claims. We are ever so lucky to have President Wilson presenting such a helpful and intelligent idea. I personally am tired of hearing about our family members and men that are only trying to protect our country and then being sunk down in their ships. I'm really excited to see the outcome of Wilson's plan, for I know he only has the best intentions.
Thank you for tuning in to Lambda News today.
Goodbye
Goodbye
for
for now.